Remember to follow the citation instructions. If you want to cite information from the search results, use the tags as instructed. If you're not using search results for your response, you don't need to use citation tags. The Black Fleet, HFY Sci-Fi Story. The darkness of space stretched endlessly beyond the viewport as Admiral Lee watched Earth grow smaller in the distance. His shuttle moved toward the massive space station that served as headquarters for the United Solar Defense Coalition. Inside his pocket, a small data drive held information that would change humanity forever. 3 days ago, the Deep Space Listening post on Europa had picked up a signal. Not random noise or simple patterns, but a complex message clearly created by intelligent beings. First contact. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity finally had proof they weren't alone. But the message wasn't friendly. "Sir, we're docking in 5 minutes," said the pilot. Admiral Lee nodded, his mind still processing the translated message. "They are coming. The Harvester Armada approaches your sector. You have 5 standard cycles to prepare." The station's war room buzzed with activity when Lee arrived. Military officers and scientists gathered around a large table, their faces grim under the harsh lights. At the head of the table stood General Park, her silver hair pulled back tightly. "The message appears genuine," she said, as Lee took his seat. "And the math translations suggest we have about 5 Earth years before they arrive. 5 years to prepare for an alien invasion," muttered Admiral Lee. "What do we know about these harvesters?" A tall scientist stepped forward. "Very little, sir. The message contains warnings but few details. They appear to be a species that moves from system to system, taking resources and destroying native populations." Silence fell over the room. Humanity had colonies on Mars, Venus, and throughout the asteroid belt, but their technology was still limited. Faster-than-light travel remained theoretical. Their weapons were designed to fight other humans, not advanced alien threats. "We need to accelerate our defense programs," General Park finally said. "Every ship, every weapon, every resource must be dedicated to preparing." As the meeting continued, a woman sat quietly in the corner, her dark eyes taking everything in. Commander Yoon wasn't supposed to be there. As head of a small research division on Titan, she lacked the rank to attend such high-level meetings. But she had convinced a friend to sneak her in because she knew something the others didn't. When the room finally emptied hours later, only General Park remained, reviewing reports at the table. Commander Yoon approached her. "General, may I speak?" "With you?" Park looked up, surprised. "You're not cleared for this level, Commander." "I know, but you need to hear what I have to say." Yoon placed a small device on the table that projected a hologram of a strange ship design. "My team has been working on experimental technology for the past 3 years. We've created a new type of energy absorption system that can power both shields and weapons. More importantly, it makes ships nearly invisible to most sensors." General Park studied the hologram with narrowed eyes. "This is highly theoretical." "Not anymore." Yoon's voice was firm. "We have a working prototype, small but functional. The ship absorbs all light around it, appearing as a void against space. We call it the Black Fleet concept." "One small prototype won't save us from an armada," Park said. "Not one ship, no. But with proper funding and authority, we could build more. Ships that can hide in plain sight, strike from unexpected angles, and disappear again." Yoon leaned forward. "Our current military strategy won't work against a technologically superior force. We need something they won't expect." General Park was silent for a long moment. "The Security Council would never approve something this experimental. They'll want proven technology." "Then they'll doom us all," Yoon said quietly. "We can't fight these harvesters conventionally." The general stared at the hologram, conflict clear on her face. Finally, she switched off the projection. "This conversation never happened, Commander. Return to your post on Titan." Yoon left the meeting defeated, but her resolve only strengthened. That night, she sent encrypted messages to trusted colleagues across the solar system, engineers, scientists, military officers who shared her vision. The official response might be too slow, too conventional, but she would act. 6 months later, deep in the methane seas of Titan, hidden from official monitoring, construction began on the first full-sized Black Fleet vessel. Commander Yoon had sold everything she owned, called in every favor, and risked her career. Some called her paranoid. Others called her a traitor for operating outside official channels. She called herself prepared. On the day the first ship was completed, Yoon stood before her small crew in the hidden underwater hangar. "What we're doing might seem wrong now," she told them. "Working in secret, taking resources, ignoring orders. But in 4.5 years, when the harvesters arrive, this fleet might be humanity's only hope." The ship before them seemed to swallow the light, its black surface revealing no details, no markings. It wasn't large compared to military vessels, but its technology was like nothing humanity had built before. "Official channels are preparing conventional defenses," Yoon continued. "Bigger guns, more ships, stronger armor. They'll fail. We need to be humanity's backup plan." As the first Black Fleet ship rose silently from Titan's sea and slipped into space undetected by monitoring stations, Commander Yoon felt both pride and fear. The clock was ticking. 4.5 years to build a fleet in secret. 4.5 years to prepare for an enemy beyond their understanding. The stars offered no comfort as she watched the ship vanish against their backdrop, becoming a moving void, the first of what she hoped would be humanity's unexpected salvation. The Black Fleet Munmagon HFY Sci-Fi Story. 3 years passed quickly. Commander Yoon's secret operation had grown despite constant challenges. Hidden bases on Titan, Enceladus, and among the rings of Saturn now housed 12 Black Fleet vessels. Each ship was small compared to regular military craft, but carried technology far beyond anything in the official fleet. The warning had been right. The harvesters came exactly when predicted. They appeared first near Neptune, massive ships that dwarfed humanity's largest vessels. The outer system monitoring stations sent out alerts before going silent forever. Humanity's official defense fleet mobilized, but fear spread through the colonies faster than ships could travel. Captain Kang watched from the bridge of his Black Fleet ship, the Shadow, as the first battle unfolded near Mars. From their hiding, spot inside a small asteroid, his crew observed in stunned silence. Earth's fleet fought bravely. Their ships were the best humanity had built, officially, but against the harvesters, they seemed like toys. Energy weapons tore through their strongest shields. Within hours, half the human fleet was destroyed, and the Mars colony sent desperate calls for help. "We should do something," whispered Kang's first officer, her eyes fixed on the dying ships. Kang gripped the arms of his command chair. "Not yet." Commander Yoon's orders were clear. "We wait until all 12 ships can strike together." On Titan, in the hidden command center deep beneath the moon's surface, Commander Yoon fought her own battle. For 3 years she had built her fleet in secret, always knowing this day would come. Now, watching the feeds from Mars, she struggled with the weight of her decisions. "The Mars colony will fall within hours," reported her communications officer. "Civilian transports are being shot down as they try to escape." Yoon closed her eyes. Briefly, the plan had been to wait longer, to let the harvesters reveal more of their technology and tactics before revealing the Black Fleet. But the screams coming from Mars changed everything. "Send the signal," she ordered. "All ships prepare for immediate action." Across the solar system, the 12 Black Fleet vessels powered up their unique engines. Unlike conventional ships with their bright plasma exhausts, these ships remained dark, absorbing all energy around them. They moved like shadows between the stars, undetectable by standard sensors. Captain Kang received the orders and immediately set his ship in motion. "All hands to battle stations. Remember your training. We hit hard, we hit fast, and we vanish before they can respond." Near Mars, the remnants of Earth's fleet fought desperately as harvester ships methodically destroyed both military and civilian targets. The alien vessels showed no mercy, firing on escape pods and medical ships with the same cold efficiency. Then the first Black Fleet ship struck. The Shadow appeared seemingly from nowhere, its dark energy weapons cutting through a harvester ship's defenses before the aliens could react. 2 more Black Fleet vessels joined, attacking from different angles, then vanishing again into the darkness of space. In her command center, Yoon watched the battle unfold. "Focus fire on any harvesters targeting civilian transports," she ordered. "Give those people time to escape." The Black Fleet's hit-and-run tactics confused the harvesters. Their ships turned about, trying to track enemies they could barely detect. For precious minutes, the evacuation ships from Mars gained the time they needed to escape. But the harvesters adapted quickly. After the initial shock, they began firing in patterns, covering wide areas of space. One Black Fleet ship, the Phantom, took a direct hit and exploded in silent fire. "We've lost the Phantom," reported Yoon's tactical officer, her voice shaking. "All hands lost." Yoon felt each death like a physical blow. These were people who had trusted her, who had worked in secret for years preparing for this day. Now they were gone. More reports came in as the battle raged. 3 more Black Fleet ships destroyed, then a 5th. But their sacrifice allowed hundreds of civilian ships to escape Mars. On his ship, Captain Kang executed another attack run, his vessel shuddering as harvester weapons grazed their hull. "Shields at 20%, called his engineer. "One more hit like that and we're finished." "Make it count," Kang ordered, directing his ship toward the largest harvester vessel. The Shadow accelerated straight toward the alien ship, firing all weapons. Harvester defenses fell, and the massive ship listed to one side, leaking atmosphere. But as the Shadow passed, the harvester fired one last shot. The bridge exploded around Kang. Emergency systems failed as the ship began to break apart. With his last conscious thought, he activated the emergency beacon, a signal that would lead the remaining Black Fleet ships to his location. On Titan, Commander Yoon saw the Shadow's signal appear on her screens. Without hesitation, she left the command center and boarded her personal ship, the Nightfall. Though she had planned to coordinate from a safe distance, she could not ask her people to die while she remained hidden. "This is Commander Yoon to all Black Fleet vessels," she broadcast as her ship rose from Titan's surface. "I'm joining the battle. Focus on protecting those civilian transports at all costs." The battle lasted 18 hours. When it finally ended, 7 Black Fleet ships had been destroyed. Mars was lost, but thanks to their sacrifice, over 80% of the civilian population had escaped. Commander Yoon's ship limped back to Titan, badly damaged. She had taken a direct hit while covering a group of medical transports, losing an arm and suffering severe burns. But as medics rushed her to surgery, she knew the true battle was just beginning. The Black Fleet had revealed itself. Earth now knew of their existence, and the harvesters had learned that humanity would not fall easily. The Black Fleet, HFY. Sci-Fi Story Commander Yoon woke in a medical bay she didn't recognize. Bright lights hurt her eyes as she tried to sit up. A sharp pain shot through her left side, and she looked down to see her arm was gone, replaced by a temporary metal frame. "Easy, Commander. You're still healing." Admiral Lee stood beside her. Bed, his face tired but respectful. 3 years ago he had dismissed her warnings. Now he looked at her differently. "Where am I?" Yoon asked, her voice rough. "Ceres Station, the official headquarters of the Black Fleet project." Yoon blinked in surprise. "Official?" Admiral Lee nodded. "After what your ships did at Mars, the Security Council voted unanimously. Every resource we have is now dedicated to expanding your fleet. You were right and we were wrong." 6 months later, the asteroid belt had transformed. What were once mining operations now served as massive shipyards. The Black Fleet was no longer hidden, but had become humanity's greatest hope. In a research lab on Ceres, Yoon, now with an advanced cybernetic arm, studied pieces of a damaged harvester ship recovered after the Mars battle. "Their technology is amazing," said Dr. Jin, the lead scientist assigned to her team, "but also strangely limited." "What do you mean?" asked Yoon. Dr. Jin pointed to the alien ship's control systems. "Everything is designed for maximum efficiency, no backup systems, no redundancy. It's like they never considered they might fail." Yoon touched the alien metal with her cybernetic fingers. "They think like a hive. We need to think like humans, messy, creative, unpredictable." This became the guiding principle as humanity prepared for the next harvester attack. While the aliens had superior technology, humans had something else: incredible adaptability. In the asteroid belt, mining expert Dal developed new methods to extract metals twice as fast as before. "The harvesters will expect us to run out of resources," he explained to his team. "Let's prove them wrong." On the recovered pieces of Mars, Captain Sue trained new pilots using simulator pods that connected directly to their nervous systems. "Harvesters communicate instantly through their network," she told her students. "With these neural links, we can react almost as quickly." And on Europa, Dr. Min made the most surprising discovery of all. While studying harvester communication signals, he found patterns that matched another signal, one not made by humans. "There are others fighting them," he reported excitedly to Commander Yoon. "Other aliens who have been resisting the harvesters for years." Yoon immediately ordered resources diverted to developing translation systems. If humanity could find allies among the stars, they might stand a better chance. The work continued day and night across the solar system. The remaining 5 ships of the original Black Fleet were joined by 20 new vessels, larger and more powerful, incorporating both human innovation and reverse-engineered harvester technology. 1 year after the Battle of Mars, humanity's sensors detected a new harvester fleet entering the solar system. This force was 3 times larger than the first. In the command center on Ceres, Yoon addressed the gathered fleet captains. Her face showed the strain of the past year, but her eyes burned with determination. "They think they know what to expect," she said. "They think they've seen what we can do. They're wrong. The new Black Fleet didn't wait for the harvesters to attack. Instead, they launched a coordinated strike against the incoming alien armada while it was still forming up near Jupiter. Captain Mi guided her ship, the Vengeance, through the chaos of battle. Unlike the first-generation Black Fleet vessels, her ship carried special equipment designed by Dr. Min's team. "Quantum disruption field at full power," reported her weapons officer. "Target their command ship and fire," ordered ME. The effect was immediate and shocking. The targeted harvester ship didn't explode. Instead, it seemed to lose all coordination, its weapons firing randomly, its engines pushing it in circles. "It's working!" Mi couldn't keep the excitement from her voice. "The disruption field is breaking their hive-mind connection." Across the battlefield, other Black Fleet ships deployed the same technology with similar results. Without their perfect communication network, the harvesters couldn't coordinate their overwhelming numbers. For the first time, humans witnessed confusion among the alien forces. In the command center, Yoon watched the battle unfold on the large tactical display. "Push the advantage," she ordered. "Concentrate fire on ships showing signs of disruption." The battle raged for 10 hours. Human ships took heavy losses. 8 of the new Black Fleet vessels were destroyed, and many more damaged. But the harvesters lost over 30 ships before the remainder retreated back toward the outer system. A cheer went up in the command center when the last harvester ship jumped away. Humanity had won its first true victory, but Yoon didn't join the celebration. Instead, she called for a secure communication channel to Dr. Min on Europa. "The translation program," she said when his face appeared on the screen. "How close are you?" "We've made a breakthrough," Min replied, his eyes wide with excitement. "We can now understand about 60% of the alien signals we intercepted. They call themselves the Nayari, and they've been fighting the harvesters for over 100 years. Can we contact them?" "I believe so. But we'll need to send a ship beyond the solar system." Yoon nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Prepare everything you need. I'm coming to Europa." As she ended the call, Yoon looked at the tactical display showing the retreating harvester ships. This victory was important, but she knew the war was far from over. Humanity needed allies, and now, for the first time, they had a way to find them. The Black Fleet, HFY Sci-Fi Story. The Black Fleet ship Peaceseeker moved slowly through unfamiliar space. Its dark hull absorbed the light from nearby stars, making it almost invisible against the cosmic background. On the bridge, Commander Yoon stood with her hands clasped behind her back, her new cybernetic arm gleaming under the dim lights. "Any response to our transmission?" she asked quietly. Communications Officer Ju shook his head. "Nothing yet, Commander. We've been broadcasting the greeting message for 6 hours now." Yoon nodded, trying to hide her disappointment. After their victory against the second harvester attack, She had convinced the Security Council to approve this mission. Dr. Min had traced the alien signals to this star system, 20 light-years from Earth. If they could find allies, humanity might stand a chance against the next harvester wave. "Wait," said Ju suddenly, his eyes widening. "I'm picking up something. A ship is approaching." The view screen activated, showing a vessel unlike anything humans had seen before. It seemed to be made of crystal, with sections that shifted and changed shape as they watched. It was beautiful and utterly alien. "They're sending a response," Ju reported, his fingers moving quickly over his console. "The translation program is working." A voice filled the bridge, speaking strangely accented but understandable words. "Human vessel, we are the Nayari. We have been watching your fight against the harvesters. We are surprised you have survived this long." 2 hours later, Yoon sat in a meeting room aboard the Nayari ship. The aliens themselves were as crystalline as their vessel, with bodies that reflected light in dazzling patterns. Their leader, who called herself Bright Singer, sat across from Yoon. "For 300 cycles, we have fought the harvesters," explained Bright Singer, her body glowing softly as she spoke. "Many species have fallen. Few have managed to push them back as you did." "We were lucky," said Yoon honestly. "And desperate." "No," replied Bright Singer. "You were innovative. You developed in months what took our people decades. Your quantum disruption technology is similar to ours, but you created it after seeing the harvesters only twice." Yoon leaned forward. "We came hoping to form an alliance. The harvesters will return to our system with an even larger force. Alone, we won't survive." "We have tried alliances before," said Bright Singer, her glow dimming slightly. "The harvesters always adapt, always win in the end." "Not this time," Yoon said firmly. "Humans are different. We don't just adapt, we create. We imagine things that don't exist and then make them real." The Nayari leader studied her for a long moment. "Perhaps, but you are not the only ones fighting. Come, there are others you should meet." The Nayari ship took the Peace Seeker to a hidden location deep in an asteroid field. There, representatives from 5 other species had gathered in a secret council. Each had their own story of fighting the harvesters. Each had developed their own technologies and tactics. The bird-like Kree had mastered stealth technology even more advanced than the Black Fleets. The gaseous Lorm existed in special suits and had developed weapons that could target the harvesters' ship systems without destroying the vessels themselves. The small but intelligent Vex had created prediction algorithms that could anticipate harvester tactics with surprising accuracy. For 3 days, Commander Yoon shared humanity's stories and innovations with these potential allies. In return, each species shared their knowledge, but when Yoon proposed a formal alliance, a combined fleet to take the fight to the harvesters, she met resistance. "Your species is too young," said the Kree representative, ruffling his feathers. "Too untested." "The harvesters have destroyed worlds for thousands of years," added the Vex leader. "What makes you think combining our forces would change anything?" Yoon stood before them, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Because separately we've all been fighting defensively, reacting. We need to act together in a way the harvesters won't expect." She activated a holographic display showing the Black Fleet's battle tactics. "Humans have something you all recognized, but haven't fully embraced: unpredictability. We make mistakes, we take risks. Sometimes we fail spectacularly." The alien representatives watched in silence as the hologram showed Black Fleet ships performing maneuvers that seemed illogical, even reckless. "But sometimes," continued Yoon, "those crazy chances lead to breakthroughs. The harvesters think like a hive mind, efficient, logical, predictable. We need to think like individuals with a common goal." The room was quiet when she finished. Then the Lorm representative floated forward, her containment suit humming softly. "For 2,000 years my people have hidden from the harvesters, moving from system to system, always running, never winning." Her voice was like a whisper through water. "Perhaps it is time to try something different. Something human." One by one, the other representatives agreed, not just to share technology, but to form a true alliance, a combined fleet under joint command. When Yoon returned to Earth 2 weeks later, she brought with her not just promises of help, but alien engineers and scientists ready to work alongside humans. The Black Fleet shipyards in the asteroid belt soon buzzed with activity, as vessels were modified with technologies from 6 different species. In her new office on Ceres Station, Commander Yoon met with Admiral Lee. On her desk sat a small crystal, given to her by Bright Singer, a symbol of the Niari commitment to the Alliance. "Will it be enough?" asked Lee, looking at the plans for the combined fleet. Yoon picked up the crystal, watching how it caught the light. "Alone, none of us could defeat them. Together, with each species contributing their strengths," she set the crystal down firmly. "Yes, it will be enough." As the Alliance took shape, long-range sensors detected a massive harvester fleet forming at the edge of the solar system. This force dwarfed the previous 2 attacks combined. The final battle was coming. But this time, humanity would not face it alone. The Black Fleet, HFY Sci-Fi Story. The combined fleet gathered near Saturn, hidden in the shadow of its rings. Over 200 ships from 6 different alien species floated in perfect formation. At the center were 50 Black Fleet vessels, their dark hulls absorbing all light. The largest ship, the Defiance, served as the command center. Commander Yoon stood on the bridge, looking at the tactical display. Her cybernetic arm had been upgraded with alien technology, allowing her to interface directly with the ship's systems. Beside her stood representatives from each allied species. "The Harvester main fleet is approaching Jupiter," reported Captain Ho. "Over 300 ships, including their command center. This is the largest force they've sent against any world in recorded history," said the Kree commander, his feathers rippling with concern. Yoon studied the display. For 2 years they had prepared for this moment. The combined fleet wasn't just a collection of different species. It was truly integrated. Each ship carried technologies and crew members from multiple worlds. "They know this is different," said Yoon. "They know we've formed an alliance. That's why they've committed such a large force." "Are we ready to initiate the plan?" asked Bright Singer, the Niari representative. Yoon took a deep breath and nodded. "All ships, prepare to execute Operation First Light." Across the fleet, crews moved to battle stations. This wasn't just another fight. It was an attempt to end the Harvester threat forever. The plan had 3 parts. First, the main fleet would engage the Harvester Armada near Jupiter, drawing their attention. Second, a smaller group of ships would protect the civilian worlds and colonies. But the true key to victory lay in the third part. A strike team would infiltrate the Harvester Command Center. Yoon herself would lead this team, along with specialists from each allied species. Their mission was to deploy an advanced version of the quantum disruption technology at the heart of the Harvester command structure. "Main fleet is moving into position," reported Captain Ho. "All ships report ready." Yoon nodded. "Begin the attack." The battle erupted near Jupiter with stunning violence. The combined fleet moved with coordination that surprised even the Allies themselves. Black Fleet vessels darted between larger Niari crystal ships, while Kree stealth fighters provided cover for the powerful but slow Vex dreadnoughts. On the RT Defiance, Yoon watched the early stages of the battle before moving to the hangar bay where her strike team waited. 20 specialists stood ready, their diverse forms a testament to the alliance they had formed. "We launch in 5 minutes," she told them. "Remember, our mission is the most crucial part of this battle. If we succeed, we end the war. If we fail..." She didn't need to finish. They all knew what was at stake. Their ship, a small Black Fleet vessel enhanced with Kree stealth technology, detached from the Defiance and slipped away from the main battle. As they approached the massive Harvester command center, they could see it was unlike normal Harvester ships. This one was ancient, its surface covered with strange markings. "We're approaching the entry point," said the pilot, a young officer, named Bin. Preparing for docking procedure, using data provided by the Lorm, who had once briefly infiltrated a similar vessel, they located a maintenance hatch, the small ship attached to the hull, cutting through with specialized tools. Yoon led the strike team inside. The interior of the Harvester Command Center was strange, more organic than mechanical, with pulsing walls and flowing liquid pathways. According to the LORM data, the central processor should be 5 levels down, whispered Dr. Min, who had insisted on joining the mission. His translation device would be crucial for understanding harvester systems. They moved quickly through the alien corridors, encountering only minimal resistance. Most of the harvester forces were focused on the main battle. "This seems too easy," muttered Yoon as they descended toward the central levels. "The harvesters never expected anyone to reach their command center," replied the Vex engineer. "They've never needed internal defenses before. When they reached the central processor chamber, they understood why. The room was enormous, filled with a swirling mass of energy surrounding a central pillar. But most shocking was what they saw connected to the pillar: harvested biological material from countless species, all linked to an ancient mechanical core. "It's not just a computer," gasped Dr. Min, reading the data streaming across his device. "It's an AI. The harvesters aren't the controllers, they're being controlled." Yoon stared at the pulsing core. "How old is it?" "According to these readings, over 10,000 years, said Min. "It seems to have been created by an ancient species that feared the chaos of organic life. It created the harvesters to impose order on the galaxy." The team worked quickly to set up the quantum disruption device. Enhanced with technology from all allied species, it was designed to sever the connection between the AI and its harvester forces. "Ready," reported the Nyari technician. "But there's something you should know. This won't destroy the AI, it will just free the harvesters from its control." Yoon nodded. "That's enough. We're not here to destroy, just to end the threat." She activated her comlink. "Strike team to fleet, we're in position. Prepare for disruption." She pressed the activation switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the energy in the chamber began to pulse erratically. The AI core emitted a high-pitched sound that made everyone cover their ears. Throughout the solar system, harvester ships suddenly stopped fighting. Their coordinated attacks fell apart as each vessel suddenly operated independently. "It's working," shouted Captain Ho over the comm. "The harvesters are disorganized. Some are even retreating." As the strike team raced back to their ship, the harvester command center began to change. The organic components separated from the mechanical parts as the controlling intelligence lost its hold. Back on the Defiance, Yoon watched as the battle ended not with destruction, but with confusion. Many harvester ships simply drifted, while others fled the system. "What happens now?" asked Admiral Lee, who had commanded the main fleet. "Now we talk," said Yoon, looking at the representatives of the Alliance. "The harvesters weren't evil. They were tools. Now they're free to make their own choices." 1 year later, a new Black Fleet launched from Earth's shipyards. These vessels were still dark against the stars, but they carried a different mission. Not war, but exploration and diplomacy. On the bridge of the flagship New Dawn, Admiral Yoon looked out at the vast universe that had once seemed so threatening. Now it held new allies, new knowledge, and endless possibilities. "Course set for the Nyari homeworld," reported Captain Bin. "The Alliance Council is waiting for us." Yoon nodded, her human hand resting on the ship's console, while her cybernetic one held a small crystal, a gift from Bright Singer. "Take us out, Captain. The stars are waiting."